on today's show.
New year, new polls. Like, who will be the biggest name to be traded? And who's the 2019 MVP frontrunner?
In Crossfire, we make some resolutions for teams, players, and ourselves.
And we also drop some bold 2019 NBA predictions.
It's Wednesday, January 2nd. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniels, Old Number 7, and Tennessee Honey. Yes, both of them. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis. That's the Aussie Lee Ellis, and over yonder, well, that's the bearded one, that's Trey Kirby. Hey-o! TK, what's up, man?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, last night, Ben Simmons pulled off one of the all-time great basketball tricks when he threw an inbounds pass off the back of Sindarius Thornwell, sealed a win against the Clippers with a dunk. Love when this happens. People have been saying that the refs missed the call, but happens too quick to really notice. That being said, it's a great trick, and it brings us to today's question. What is the best NBA trick? For instance, making a monitor go black. Or how about an overhand fake like Michael Jordan popularized back in the 90s? This always looks hilarious when it works. Also very funny when it doesn't work. Shout out to Lance Stevenson. If you guys can pull this off and make it look cool. But I love this trick. One of the few highlights of Brent Price's NBA career, but at least he's memorialized forever. But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter, what's the best NBA trick? Send us your best tweets to hashtag the starters. We'll hear from you later.
Yeah, get your tweets in. We got a fun one tonight. Trey and Tass are going to go head-to-head in a special New Year's resolutions-themed edition of Crossfire. We got Lily's first very solid play of 2019, and we'll make some bold predictions, like these monitors are going to go out again. Definitely on the show tonight. But let's start with a little checking of the polls. Hey. We start the new year by checking the polls. The segment where we ask you, the loyal Starters fan, to vote on some of the big NBA questions that we throw at you. And to do so, to find out the results, I turn it over to the poll master himself, TK.
All right, trade season officially started in December, but things really heat up as we get closer to the February 7th deadline. Guys, rumors abound. We asked the fans, who's the biggest name to be traded? 30% of the vote think it's going to be Bradley Beal. You guys agree?
I see a lot of names there. What do you think about that?
Beal's a legitimate option, I do believe, with the Wizards, but I would go with Brandon Ingram if I had to pick the number one guy on that list. They could be swapped for each other. That's totally fair. Brandon Ingram, what he doesn't have going for him in LA is that he's 21 years old. I think that's the worst thing. That LeBron probably doesn't see him as his number two quite yet. LeBron just turned 34. Maybe he doesn't see as Brandon Ingram as the guy who can get him there right now. Him and Beal, I think, are the only two legitimate options on that list. Everybody's dreaming of an Anthony Davis trade. That's not happening in the next 5 weeks. That team is trying to get good around Anthony Davis. Maybe later, but that guy's signed for so long-term in New Orleans, it's not happening.
But what happens if the Pelicans' slide here continues? And
I still don't think you're trading one of the best in the world for what?
I know, but
why?
Well, you get tons back in return for him right now.
But what's the rush if you're the Pelicans?
Well,
first off, you're still in a playoff race, even if you did slide a bit because it's so crazy. But they're going to throw that money at him. They're going to say, here is that $250 million extension. Will you sign it? Now, if he says, no, it's not just about money, and I want to win and my legacy and build that, then I think we start getting into the who's got the better package. Celtics, Lakers, someone else make a play for him. But until then, I'm with Tass. I don't see him being traded definitely before the deadline here.
But if
you're
a team that wants him, and we know that the Celtics kind of can't trade for him right now because of the Kyrie situation and his contract, if you're the Lakers and you sort of see this situation unfolding where the Pelicans are struggling, why not try to get in there early and get a deal done now?
Like to beat the Celtics package?
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Because if Davis does become available at some point, you want to make sure that you have the assets and you can make that good offer. And right now, the Lakers do have that advantage over the Celtics that they could try to get him. I honestly don't think they will trade him, but the thing I'm really concerned about is that the Pelicans are struggling and out of the playoff race. This is a team we thought home court advantage is the minimum for them this year. And right now, it's just a battle to get in the playoffs. I know they've had some injuries, but they started off well. Things were going well. Davis has been fantastic through this. He hasn't made any comments about wanting to leave. The team hasn't said anything like that as well. So that's the way to handle it. But if you're the Pelicans, you've got to be worried that he's going to start to look around and go, things are actually getting worse for us here. and he needs to move on.
I hear that, but again, I think you're only going to have more teams in play in the summer. Again, this is under the hypothetical that 80 says, I don't want to sign on the dot. Or maybe even if he does sign on, you can still obviously look to trade the guy, but they're going to have so many teams and so many packages. Why wouldn't you want to drive up the market price even more?
Yeah, and the Celtics have a ton of picks in the cupboard,
Yeah.
as they always do, and the Celtics can't trade until the summer. So that's how you drive out the price. And maybe a part of it is New Orleans might be selling their team. The Bensons might be selling their team down the line, and you want picks. If you're looking for a prospective buyer, you're looking for young players and draft picks. So that's why you might wait for the Celtics at least to get in on the bidding.
Yeah, I'll tell you who I threw my vote from that list on was Kevin Love, too. I think it's in play, and we know Kevin Love can't be traded until January 24th because of when he signed his new contract in that 4-year, $120 million deal. But, that's a couple weeks there, that 24th to the February 7th deadline, where I think it's in play because I think you could see a lot of teams talking themselves into Love, and I know there's some injury problems with him, and some people maybe look at the contract and go, whoa, that's a lot for a guy up there in age, but teams could use some offense like the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
Maybe the Rockets, they're always in play for sort of another big sort of borderline all-star guy. There could be teams calling the Cavs and saying, here's either picks or young guys. We know you're not going anywhere this year.
Yeah.
I just wonder, what are you going to get in return for Kevin Love right now that he's injured? He has to play well, I think, for the Cavs to get even close to some value on the Bucks. So you probably could see this in the offseason maybe or next year, but he's got to play well. And again, it's only 5 weeks away. It's bumped up a little bit earlier.
That's
so
true.
Kevin Love, who knows when he's coming back? They might just say, let's be bad again and hang out for a bit.
All right, Trey, what's our next one?
We're 2.5 months into the season, and MVP is still up for grabs, so we put together a massive list of players who have seats at one of the biggest, roundest tables around. We asked the people who wins MVP, and guys, that's a blowout.
Yeah.
52% voting for Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're probably right.
I think they're right.
You think they're right?
Yeah, right now things are going very well for the Bucks and for Giannis. They just have to sort of keep on moving, keep on winning. He has to keep on playing, putting up these incredible numbers. Mike Budenholzer has come in there and utilised Giannis the way that we all wanted Jason Kidd to, but he wasn't able to. And Giannis is highlighting his skills. He has some weaknesses, of course. Still, the shooting is not great, but his ability to just get inside and dunk the ball time and time again, the rebounds, the blocks, the assists, he's doing everything for his team, and they're winning. So, short of an injury or the Bucks just fall apart, I really think this is his MVP to lose right now.
I'm going to ride the hot hand in James Harden's hot hand. He's scoring a ridiculous number every single night out. He's averaging 33.3 points a game right now. That is just a crazy number, and he's averaging 40 over his last 10. And I think the Houston Rockets, it's easy to sort of remember that they started off slow, but you look at the standings right now, they're 3.5 back of the 1 seed. Just 3.5 back. What if they propel up to there? It's not that far off for this team that knows how to win. I think Chris Paul, when he comes back, is going to help them, but he's not going to get the credit. He's not going to steal any votes or anything or take any of the shine from James Harden. I just think he's a legitimate option. Giannis is the favorite
Even
right
though
now.
it would be a back-to-back situation for James Harden? I think that maybe in some voters' minds, they say, no,
Sure.
you got yours, you started off slow, and
But-
now, you've been on a run here, but you're not going back to back. Sort of happened with Westbrook a little bit.
Yeah, what he's doing
bit.
right now is stupid, though. This is just sensational numbers, and he's taking over 48 minutes of the game. That's something that Giannis doesn't do. He doesn't go out and get you 10, 15 points at the end of the game, and I think that just might be something that
Harden,
wins over
the streak that Harden's on right now, he's going to cool off sooner or later. He's just hitting everything. I mean, it's actually fun to watch because we know James isn't the most eye-catching player to watch because of the fouls and stuff, but right now the way he's carrying his team is working. But I just think he's going to run out of gas. He's proved that in the last couple of years, come playoff time, he often does. That might come earlier. He's playing these heavy minutes, a lot of usage. Rockets are winning. They needed this from him to get back into the race, and they've got there. But how much longer can he keep it
and
up?
the Bucks have to get the 1 seed. At least.
One or two. One or two.
Yeah, no, I actually
think
think this is funny. I think this is why this MVP race is so wide open this far into the season. I know we just got into January, but Mark Stein, he wrote it today in his newsletter. There's not a team running away with the #1 record. And we may not even have a team that even gets to 60 wins. The Bucks and the Raptors are on pace, just on pace to get to maybe that level, but it's not guaranteed. It'd be sort of weird. You rarely have a season where no team, in a full season, where a team doesn't win 60 games. And my point is, there won't be like a 10-game separation where it's like, oh, they're the best team. Oh, they've got this best player. Let's give him the MVP, or he deserves the MVP more than someone else. I think that's why it's so wide open here. Just all these teams are good, but no one's like great. Which is pretty fun. All right, let's get a final poll here, Trey.
All right, new year, new Eastern Conference Finals participants. With LeBron out west, the pennant is there for the taking, so we polled the fans and asked who they think will win the Eastern Conference, and the fix is in. 67% of people voting for the Raptors to win the East. Are this just all your guys' votes?
No.
Speaking of 60
votes.
wins, let's talk Raptors. I mean, they're winning with Kawhi, without Kyle, with Kyle. They can do it all. They're built for the regular season because they're too deep at every single possession. maybe not so much built for the playoffs, but we'll see about that later. I think, yeah, they can just keep it up right now. And we're seeing the best of Kawhi Leonard right now, as we saw a career high for him yesterday with 45 points. He's getting going at the right time. He sat out the first half, or half of back-to-backs, I should say, to be this good. He's only getting better. This team is only getting better. And yes, Lowry's injured, but they can manage to do it.
Are you worried about the Kyle Lowry injury? I mean, a couple days ago, Nick Nurse was saying, oh, he's going to be back somewhat soon, and that was positive. And then we find out he's got these, the shots in the back, to anti-inflammatory shots for back issues. I mean, anytime you see back issues, especially the way Lowry plays, how hard he plays, taking all the charges, that concerns me, because I'm looking at this too as not who wins the Eastern Conference, the number 1 seed. I'm looking at who goes to the NBA Finals. And the Bucks beating the Raptors twice, shooting a bunch of three-pointers, which can at times catch up to the Raptors in the playoff series. They're scary to me, and maybe having the best player. I mean, it's a flip of the coin between Kawhi or Giannis. I think the Bucks are right there. I'm surprised the Raptors getting so much of this vote.
Well, I'm not surprised because they've actually handled these missing players pretty well, no matter who's been out there, and that just shows they've got a good system, they've got a good deep bench, and Nick Nurse has got the team playing really well. The Bucks haven't won a playoff series, and that, to me, counts against them. The Raptors have been there. We know they've run into problems with LeBron, but everyone else they've kind of handled pretty well. So I think the Raptors right now still are the best team and should be Eastern Conference favourites. But if the Bucks keep it up, it should be a great series. Bye, Monitor.
Same honor. We'll take a break. It's a perfect time to take a break, try and figure that out. What a start to the new year. TVs don't want to get back to work. When we come back, though, Trey and Task go head-to-head in a special New Year's Resolutions edition of Crossfire.
The Starters is presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey.
Welcome to Crossfire. Here's how this works. The champ and the challenger are going to go head-to-head for 3 rounds of questions, and at the end of it all, I'll declare a winner. The Crossfire belt is on the line. Guys, round 1, the calendar has flipped to 2019, and as we all know, a New Year's resolution can be a powerful way to make a positive change in your life. So let's help some squads out here, guys. I want a New Year's resolution for a specific team. Here we go.
The Chicago Bulls' New Year's resolution should be to get their J.E. Skeets on and start running. Because ever since the road dog Jim Boylan took over, they have been boring. They've won as many games with Jim Boylan as Fred Hoiberg, so it's sort of working, but they play so slow. They're prioritizing veterans over their youth, and it's just not fun to watch. If you're not going to be good, at least be entertaining. The Bulls are neither right now, so I'm saying in 2019, let's hit the gas, get out on the streets like J.E. Skeets.
I'm going to stick with the bottom of the Eastern Conference. The Washington Wizards should be bad. Just be bad. This John Wall injury is an absolute gift. They should go down and get a draft pick, a good one, because this is maybe their only chance to be bad, because there's so much talent on that roster with Wall and Beal and Porter, who signed for a very long time. This is an opportunity. Just tank it like J.E. Skeets does. Do you ever tank it?
I sometimes tank it.
Okay,
I don't know what that means, but yes. Round 2. It's a similar question, but I want you to narrow your advice down to an individual, all right? What's a specific New Year's resolution you would suggest for one particular player? Here we go.
I'm going to keep it simple. Klay Thompson needs to learn how to shoot again. This is one of the best shooters of all time, playing with some of the best players ever who get him open shots. And look at that percentage. Gross. The first time he's been sub 40 in his career. One of the best ever. I don't know what's going on with Klay Thompson. Those numbers irk me.
Interesting. What do you got?
Personally, I think Rudy Gobert needs to start meditating because he seems a little bit stressed out to me. You guys obviously remember when he was kicked out of the game 3 minutes into the first quarter for smacking a water bottle, got ejected. He's just been a little bit angry, I feel, all year, and he's been complaining to the refs, which is a vicious cycle. You get a bad foul call, you complain to the refs, then they're watching you, you get another bad foul call. Next thing you know, your defense isn't doing well. Rudy Gobert, chill out, man. Do some yoga. That's good for you. Us tall guys need to stretch.
Do some yoga. All right, great answers, guys. Final round here, round 3, where we pivot the focus to yourself, okay? That's what's happening here. It's a simple question, but tough to answer, even more difficult to follow. What's your 2019 New Year's resolution? Here we go.
I'm actually trying to be a little bit more organized with my photos this year because you guys know how it is. You take a whole bunch of pictures, you get home, you look at them, you're like, what's with all these pictures? I got 7,000 on my phone.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna look at these pictures. I got these 3 bad ones that I took. Instantly delete. Skeets, you're gone. Tess, you're gone.
Come on.
Rick, you're gone.
Okay.
Photos, you're out of here in 2019.
Okay, more organization.
okay? I'm gonna gain some weight in 2019. Not good weight, not good weight. Fat weight. I'm gonna be huge. You guys, you got your own thing going. This guy's got a beard. This is the skinny guy. That guy's got an accent over there. What do I got going for me? I'm just a medium-sized guy.
You're the handsome guy, Tass. We need a handsome guy.
I'm gonna be the big man. Call me Joey Fat One. I'm gonna be Joey Fatone on this show.
And what are you going to do to encourage that? Just
I'm gonna eat all these.
Whoa, man. Tass is going upset.
Get in my belly.
Come on, take him down. All right, the winner of our first Crossfire of 2019 is the fat guy.
Does it fit?
I don't know. Well, let's go around him. And right now it
Too
does.
skinny.
Right now it
Too
does. Tass takes the win.
Come get me, Cormier.
When we come back, some bold 2019 NBA predictions. I'm stepping on Skittles and M&M's. Back with the starters, time for some fill-in-the-blank fun. My man TK, take it away.
That's right, no shows for your boys last week. Don't know about you guys, but I spent most of that time driving and eating junk food. But the NBA kept right on going. Guys, fill in the blank. The biggest Christmas break story was blank.
It's the beard, the bearded one. I'm not
Thank you,
talking
thank you,
Santa.
thank
I'm not
you.
talking Trey. I'm not talking Santa. I am talking James Harden. We talked about it, alluded to it earlier in the show when we were talking MVP. But James Harden, he just sort of single-handedly brought the Rockets back into the playoff picture. I mean, it felt like when we left for the break, the Rockets were around the bottom of the Western Conference. Now they're up to number 4. And his point totals in the last 10 games, 50, 32, 47, 35, 35, 39, 41, 45, 41. It's crazy. He's doing things that we've only seen Kobe and Michael Jordan do over a 10-game span. So I go with the beard. It's easy.
For me, it was LeBron James getting injured to start on Christmas Day. This guy just does not get injured, ever. And then after he said he heard a pop in his groin here and he sat out a few games, he's out again tonight. He'll be back soon because he's LeBron James and he misses a lot of games. But somehow, he was the biggest story on Christmas Day because he was injured. And then he managed to take over all the headlines because he told on an uninterrupted show that's coming out, there was a snippet about him saying, I believe I was the GOAT after I won the 2016 title. He manages to control all the headlines even when he's not playing. And then, I know this is Lee's answer, then he brought in some wine to a game.
Exactly. He wasn't playing before this game, but he sort of strolled into Staples there before the game against the Clippers. It was like someone said, hey, LeBron, you got a game tonight? And it's like, nah, it's cool, I'm not playing. They said, well, you should probably go still anyway. And he's like, all right, give me my wine.
Grabs
I'm
his
up.
wine
Yeah,
and he's
exactly.
off.
And he just
Bold
went in
move with a white sweatshirt, too.
Yeah,
I
very
know, but
ballsy.
he's become quite the wine connoisseur in his later years. So I'm not surprised that he walked in there with a little glass of Malbec. Or
Did you have any wine over
I
the
had
holiday
plenty
break?
of wine, yes.
You did?
Yeah, it was
Excellent.
great.
I can tell.
I didn't have any today. I haven't got any under the
Next
table.
one.
No,
Trey,
did
next
flow. New year, new NBA. Only time will tell. Fill in the blank. My bold 2019 NBA prediction is blank.
Getting there.
Right faster,
yeah.
Miles.
I got it, I
Right
got it.
faster.
I got it. Here's my bold prediction. I don't even know if it's that bold. I guess it is. Kevin Durant's going to New York City. He's going to the Knicks.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're looking ahead in 2019. He's not being traded there before the deadline. I'm saying he is eventually, very likely going to win a third straight championship with the Warriors. And then he is going to try and sort of rehabilitate, I guess, his sort of career, not in terms of accolades, but how people perceive him, and try and bring the Knicks back to, success, of any sort of success. So I think he is ultimately going to go to New York. I do.
I'm going to piggyback that. I think before he goes and makes his decision, I think he's going to delete his Twitter account.
Which one?
That's the thing. There's going to be a lot of jokes. He'll be ready for that. Yeah, the burner, blah, blah. I think he's just going to have enough, people riding
Really?
him.
I don't know. I think he loves it secretly.
Yeah, but he's got an Instagram account for that.
Okay.
So he'll delete Twitter.
I think Brook Lopez is going to go in the three-point shootout.
Yep.
He's not going to win it, but he's going to make the finals.
Okay.
Because he is shooting.
Fascinating.
Bold.
Well, I don't think he can win it. I mean, there's too many other really good shooters. Your Devin Booker's, your Steph, Clay will be back there. But for a big man at this stage of his career to enter it and actually do really well, I think is going to be incredible. He's 9th in the league right now in makes, and he's made as many as Klay Thompson, shooting 37%. Get the big man in there.
Why don't we have a big man three-point shooter and a little man three-point shooter?
Yeah,
6'6" and under?
Dirk's won it. Kevin
Love's
Love won it. So
yeah,
a couple of big guys, but they're not really centers like Brook Lopez is.
Splash Mountain.
Exactly. It'd be great, and it'd be fun to have him in it.
You should have said he's going to win it.
Well,
that
I
to me is
couldn't go
bold.
that far.
Go that
I mean,
far.
it's,
All right.
Not
He's
enough
gonna
wine.
win
Not
at
enough
least.
wine to say.
Final one here, Trey.
When you're doing a as many shows as we do, you're bound to say something stupid. I do it almost every show. Guys, fill in the blank. My dumbest take of 2018 was...
This one's easy. I wonder if Tass goes the same route. Raptors in 6. What am I talking about? The playoffs versus the Cavs, second round last year. It looked like that was the year they were finally going to get over LeBron James and the Cavs. And
One of these is going in.
Yeah, I know. Oh my.
That would have changed the whole series.
I know. They would have won a game. Yeah. But yeah, no, Raptors in 6. I was convinced. I talked myself into it. The Raps being the better team. The Cavs looking vulnerable in the first round versus the Pacers. Taking 7 games to beat them, and in the end, it didn't matter. Swept.
I said Raptors in 7, so that was a better bet by me. I said the Wizards are going to be a lock for the playoffs this season. Not good.
No, that's not good. What do you got, Lee?
Luka Doncic. I was skeptical. I just didn't think he could be so good so soon.
Right.
And he's been...
You thought the hype was just too much?
Yeah, I just
You didn't
thought
buy the
a
hype?
young guy coming over, didn't see him in Summer League. I said, no, he's going to get a lot of pressure. He's going to get almost like Lonzo Ball last year. Everyone's going to try to, jump on this guy, and he's just been awesome.
Yeah. Who was your Rookie of the Year?
Kevin Knox, who's
Kevin
been
Knox. He has turned it on.
good. He's a good shooter. Got a nice shot in.
Let's hear from
He'll
you
be the three-point
guys.
shooter.
Fill in the blank on Twitter. # the starters. When we come back, Lily's first very solid play of 2019. Don't go anywhere. We asked you, what's the best NBA trick? You hit us up on Twitter, # starters. Trey, you got some answers.
Yeah, some good suggestions. For instance, the best trick is making the opponent believe that they're in the lead, then you can beat them in the overtime. Smart move by the Warriors. I like this one from Matthew, who says, pulling the chair. Makes me laugh every time. Very funny. Shout out Pero Antic. And Jay with the most requested answer, pretty much everything Jason Williams did, but that elbow pass is the best. 101.
Tonight's pick and play, Pelicans Nets. We got Trey and Lee with the Nets. Tass and I will take the Pelicans on the road. And by the way, TK, you'll be paying off your December loss later next week.
Yeah, very solid play. Comes from the Nuggets, and boomerang from Monty Morris here. Here it is. Starts with him, finishes him. That's a 3. That's beautiful. That's what I call a very solid play.
That's the full Monty right there. We had a couple wedgies while we were gone. December 21st, way back, we got Bruce Brown.
Who?
Bobby Brown. I call it Bruce Bowen, Bobby Brown, too many B's. And then this next one, Daniel Tice. This is actually on a foul, but we counted it anyway.
Yeah, we're desperate.
That's fine. Yeah,
Very desperate.
we are desperate because that was 15 and 16 on the season, on pace for only 38 at this point.
That is tough. All right, that's it for us tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. 10 before tip coming up next.
Thank you for joining us, and remember, every year, opportunity for a new start, folks.
Brace tonight, people.